can do it.
Welcome to the Final Third podcast.
Welcome.
Episode 1. How we feeling?
That your rubbish podcast
It's
host voice.
that's the intro, and that's what we're gonna have to deal with. So
I feel like I'm flying a plane.
well, make sure you get nice and
this
close
isn't
so we
gonna
can
go
hear you.
well.
Well, we're gonna see how it goes. So
Let's do this.
let's introduce each other. This is Eddie Hackett,
Edward
Hackett, the legend himself. That is James Ward Kelsch.
Something like that.
That's James Kelsch. I'm Anthony Antunes. No funny name for me because I'm not English.
Fair enough.
You're not really Portuguese either.
Okay.
It's true.
So what is this about, Eddie? What are we doing here?
I think when we talk a lot, which we all do about youth soccer because we've lived it for so long, it's a case of like we all talk to parents, we all talk to coaches, we all talk to our players and blah, blah, blah. And then at the end of the day, like, it's hard to get a message out, what's really true and what's not true. So people just fabricate things, and here we are.
So we want it to be real. We want it to be no bias.
have a chat.
Just
Be real, because that was really, really boring.
You think that was scripted?
This is the number one podcast. Let's do this.
It's got to be more exciting than that.
All right, let's go. Come on, chat.
I mean, I do agree, but I think for us, it's about being a bit more, I guess, unfiltered, but giving opinions of, I mean, especially these guys doing it so long, but also debating stuff, having people on that could provide good insight, and just chatting. We like it. We like a good chat.
Let's have a chat.
Let's have a chat. You're good at chat.
Love chatting.
Okay, Edward.
Yes, sir.
How did we get started on all this? So what we want to do is obviously we want to give a general consensus about how, at least from our three perspectives, how did we get started in this? How did we get sucked into this? How did we get here today? Short and sweet.
Okay, for me, this is pretty much almost the only thing I've ever done. I've done some random jobs over the years, but
Give me some of them. I got to hear some of these.
worked in a milk factory. Worked in a pallet building factory.
That's why I liked wood so much, I think.
I don't know.
I worked in a Christmas cracker factory once.
Yeah, I worked at Safeway, which
was a gingerbread man factory. Christmas cracker.
You don't
I
know
worked in the bakery at Safeway. I love bread.
Wait, weren't you a landscaper too?
I was a fertilizer. I was fertilizing. That was amazing.
Okay, carry on.
No, I think, listen, we grew up in England, right? Football is massive, and I played other sports. I played cricket, played rugby. I was an athlete, and as much as I tried to stick school out, it wasn't really for me, and I didn't love it, and I didn't really want to be there, and I wanted to be in football. So that was my goal.
But were you good in school though? Or?
I think I could have applied myself more. Like, was I book smart? Not naturally, you know. This weirdo genius over here can sit there because he's a nerd. But it's just like, for me, that's not who I am. So I need to be out and about. I need to be moving. I need to be doing things. And I'm not one to sit in an office. And I'm not. So I love playing and I love coaching.
Okay.
And either that, it was going to be a teacher. And I didn't really want to go back to school to do that either.
Being as a teacher.
Can you imagine? In a classroom or any setting.
So I think a lot of people can be curious about this, but like in Europe where you were, it's like when were you like, okay, this is what I want to do? Like, I don't want to be in a normal job. I want to work in sport.
You just didn't have a job, and you needed one.
Yeah, I couldn't get a job.
So you're desperate, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, well,
no
so
qualifications.
Listen, I'll be honest. I got my GCSEs in high school.
Come on.
A levels failed miserably, which was like the next stage of high school in England.
Okay.
University, absolutely not. It wasn't even a consideration. Went to work at an indoor soccer facility, football, soccer, whatever, in Manchester. That was awesome, great experience. That's where I really started my coaching. And then I was like, I need to probably get away and do something different. I was probably drinking and partying too much, which is a reality. I mean, people think I'm very quiet, right?
That he's an angel.
He's absolutely past it now, but he had some good days.
I had some great days, some good times.
Jeez.
But I'm a true professional now.
Okay.
That's what I do.
So the next step was?
Career ended miserably. Like playing whatever you want to call it, semi-pro amateur football in
Yeah.
England, and it just like wasn't enjoyable anymore. And you're playing in a league that's, you're trying to make it, and you're not going to, and then you realise like, what am I going to do the rest of my life? And because I love football so much, and I enjoy working with kids and making, trying to go, all right, this was my life in football. How do I give that back to future players that had my dreams growing up and didn't make it? And that's what my true passion is. So that's what I pursued.
So then you came here.
Came here in 2002.
Been here ever since.
Major League Soccer camps.
Okay.
Because that's a great American.
Well, that was the whole Red Bulls thing when that
was,
came about.
MLS camps was prior to Red Bulls. Red Bulls took over Metro Stars.
And you were involved in that as well.
2008.
Well, we'll get to him, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, if we have to.
You can skip over.
I'm
Don't
okay
matter.
with that. It's okay.
Yeah, so MLS camps for a couple of years, figuring it out on a work visa, back and forth in New York, New Jersey, traveled around the whole Northeast. 2004 came to Long Island, way out east, in Mattatuck, Kutchog, Riverhead. People are like, where is that? I remember speaking to Ray at Manhattan. I'll give him a nod. Played against him. He had no idea who I was, what the team was, what the club was, where it was.
Played against him with what club, though?
He was with Manhattan at the time, and they were dominant in the city. And we were this little farm team out of Mattatuck, and we were playing Region 1. And it was like, that was when Region 1 was decent. And it was like, who are you guys? And we're like, no, we're just a bunch of kids. And guess what? You were on that team. So,
Wow.
I mean, I was waiting for that.
Is that an intro to you? Because
We'll
it's
get
not
there.
the Eddie Hackett podcast. So.
it should be, though.
Okay, farm teams, and then from
Yeah,
there.
so then it was 2005. My manager here left, went to LA, and I was like, I need a change. I left, I went out there as well, 2005. Got a call saying, would you want to come back to New York? You interested? I was like, yeah, I enjoyed LA, but it wasn't really for me. Different scene, different lifestyle. Came back to New York and decided, this is it. I'm going to commit to it full time. 2005, 2006. I was early 20s, mid 20s. Showing my age now.
And then here we are today.
Yeah, and then it was like, all right, if I'm going to do this, like I'm going to fully commit to it.
Mhm.
And that was when, I could see youth soccer changing. It used to be, local community club with a trainer. And then you saw these leagues, and I think it was like 2010, 11, right? Where the leagues, you could see something started to change. The DA came about. It started to be more organized. I was with the Red Bulls. The RDS started, which was the regional development schools. Like you could see it starting to evolve into more of a profession. And that's when I started to take it seriously. And I did all my licensing. So I had my A license by
Well, that's what I was about to ask.
2009.
There you go. And here we are.
And I did it again, 2018. People always say, no,
Greedy, some would say. Why have two of them?
hey. I didn't want to be in education, but I was
Can I
willing
just
to educate
confirm why he has
myself.
two of them? Because he let the first one lapse. That's why he has two
Oh,
of them.
no.
Well, you're supposed to repeat them. So I had kids in
What's the
that time.
timeline, though, that you have to repeat it?
I think it's like 4 to 6 years. And I was busy
He was
building a
busy.
life.
Yeah.
Which is important as
Which
well.
was worth it.
100%.
Mr. Kelch.
Hello.
Let's rewind all the way back.
Wow. Same as Eddie, played loads of sports growing up. Cricket, golf.
See, this is where it's going to be.
I've seen
Rugby
you play.
in
I've seen
school.
you play cricket. You're
I'm
terrible.
alright.
This
Well,
is where it's completely
terrible.
different, though.
Just because you're really good at it doesn't mean I'm terrible.
I'm not really
okay.
good. If I was really good, I probably wouldn't be here. But
That means you're not really good at anything, is it?
it's true.
'Cause look, here we
So
are.
I played loads of sports growing up. I played football, obviously. I was never at like the highest level. Around by me, the top club at the time, and people aren't going to know this, but it was QPR.
Brilliant.
QPR were the top London club at the time.
And they were in the Premier League.
So they're in the Premier League. They're better than Arsenal. They're better than QPR. They're better than Arsenal.
Should we just jump to Tottenham right now and talk about Tottenham?
Don't even get to that.
Let's.
We'll be playing in the same league as QPR next year.
I mean, you might go down too.
So, like, I had friends who obviously played at QPR, and I wasn't at that level. And I did go to university, what you call college over here. So
Good
I
for you.
did okay at school.
And guess what? We're in the same place now.
Well,
It doesn't
exactly,
change
same
anything,
place.
does it?
But you went for what? It was something computer. Like,
I
right?
went for the course was computer multimedia at the time, so it's basically computer science with a little bit of graphic and design and so on.
They asked me to do that. I said no.
Yeah, they did.
I mean,
Absolutely.
but that's had to help you in some areas here.
Yeah, of course. So I did that. I played soccer in college. It's not the same as over here. It's not as organised. The level's okay, just because everybody plays football in England. And then every year when I was at college, there was a guy who used to come and try and recruit kids to come to America. So probably 75% of all of the soccer teams always used to come over in the summer, and I never did because, I don't know, I always wanted to go home.
You said
in the
you
summer.
didn't want this to be boring.
Do you want an intro or not?
I was totally locked into this.
Listen, it wouldn't. If I could tell you the story of how I got my first job over here or my second job, then if this wasn't like kid friendly, then it would be It would be way more interesting.
Okay.
Anyway, last year in college, I came over here. I worked in Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire. Just did the summer. It was kind of cool. And then I went home and I started working in like a computing field, like working in IT and stuff. Worked for 2 years, got a good resume. Got bored, came back over here, and that was my first introduction to Long Island. I worked for Noga, so I worked for Gary Book, Tim Bradbury, Neil Graham at the time was there. And I did a summer in Long Island, but I lived at Hofstra. So great summer, doing camps, mornings, evenings, good introduction to Long Island. And then I lived in Connecticut for 3 months after that. And I worked in a whole different bunch of places in Connecticut.
All over the place.
It's kind of fun. I had a really good time, and then I went home. I got a job again. I worked in IT again for another 2 years.
It's just like
I got bored again, and they wouldn't give me a permanent position because I was a contractor and I wanted one. So that's when I had a friend who worked for Red Bulls, and I applied for the job not thinking anything of it, and then I went to the interview and they gave me a job, and I was still kind of debating it, and then I came over, and that's when I met this guy. So he didn't work for it. He just basically finished working for Red Bulls. I'd started working for Red Bulls, but I was sent out to Long Island as well.
Yeah.
So I met him. I did a 9-month contract and then I went home again. I started working again for the same company. But I met who is my wife now.
Lovely, lovely.
She came and lived in London for 6 months. And then I decided that I did not want to sit in the office for the rest of my life.
So there you go.
So I came over here, and then my path was a little different because he'd already networked. He had a load of stuff over here. I had more of a business background. So it's kind of how we got together.
How you guys gel so well together?
I don't know if we gel, but
I think anyone
Depends who you talk to.
watching the first 15 minutes of this go,
I'm bored
these two
out
gel?
their brains.
I mean, anybody who knows us, it's quite amusing because this is how we are all the time.
But I think with what you both said, because both of the stories kind of align a little bit, talk a little bit about the history of this place we're standing in right now. Because this is...
Oh, this is epic. I mean, look, Kelsey loves it because look at all these shirts.
Oh
besides the shirts, what...
All right, so we're in my basement.
If we could span the camera right now, you wouldn't just see that rubbish shirt, that rubbish shirt, that rubbish shirt. It just
1,
keeps
2,
going.
3, 4, 5,
There's some
6,
dreadful
7, 8.
shirts
So
in
there's
here.
8 home shirts.
If anybody
going
knows
from
the 90s...
80s to now, and the away kits are on that side.
Wasn't that the grey
darts
kit?
board
Wasn't
is
that the
there.
grey kit that they wore for a half and decided that they were losing 3-0 at half time? So they're like, "Oh, we can't wear this anymore."
I mean, that's
Classic
true. I
Man
mean,
United.
I think Tottenham are wearing that kit right now because they can't see each other. Anyway, signed Rooney shirt and then some personal memorabilia, and this is my life. It's the man cave. It's
It's not
my
really
wife's-
a man cave, is
my,
it?
my wife comes down here and hangs out too, so it's the
Like going back to your question, this is where we started.
Exactly.
yeah. So what we did was we met in 2009, I think it was, and then I got married in 2010 off a work visa, which means I had some more freedom.
Sketchy.
Yeah, and
Yes, man.
and that's when we partnered up. And like I said, he had a business background. I'd already networked. I was in soccer. I was meeting a lot of people here. Worked for ODP, worked for Red Bulls, worked for whoever. And I was starting to build something on Long Island. And like I said, if I knew I was living out here, I decided I'm going to commit to it. I'm going to give it my best effort and start to get to know people and figure out. I was really starting to, I think, put a vision together. You know, I had a vision. And I wanted to see whether that vision could come true, and it was just like chip
See
away.
how it's just his vision. I had a vision.
Well, I had a vision and met you, and you helped put the vision together, and we partnered up, right? Like that's what teamwork is. No, but it was actually really good because what what I'm terrible at, he's good at.
Yeah, that's
And what he's terrible at, I'm pretty good
But
at.
that's the
and
point.
then that's the partnership, and then you move from there.
That's the point I was trying to make. If you can
100%.
complement each other that
And
way.
to be fair, we've both got better at the things that we weren't very good at.
I mean, I'm terrible
He's
at
talking.
techie stuff,
Yeah,
all this
okay.
stuff, like
But
flying
he can-
planes and talking to
But
microphones.
he could talk though, can he?
He can talk for England.
I could talk or I could not talk. It's up to you.
No, we like when you talk.
And this is well out of my comfort zone because if you see me, I try and stay away from everybody. So,
Well, you should, because otherwise.
But I mean, it's kind of
yeah,
full circle. Talk about all the stuff you did here. Now you're in here, just talking about
Here we are. We're back.
youth soccer. Born and raised in Brentwood, New York. Yeah. So parents came over from Portugal. Not a fake Portugal fan. Born and raised in
still second
Brentwood.
generation though.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, you're American.
So you're American.
Crack on.
Born and raised in Brentwood. Moved when I was 7 to Riverhead. Well, to Wading River, but within the Riverhead School District. And that's when I started to play soccer. So not when we were in Brentwood. So
See, not true Portuguese.
Yeah.
Because if you were, you'd start when you were like 1 year old. So
yeah, and go through the Brentwood system as well.
100%. You wouldn't have left it. Yeah, Brentwood for sure.
But you're saying should have stayed in Brentwood. The reason why I left Brentwood because I lived on Fifth Ave. I forget the other street, but a car drove through our house
Oh,
in
interesting.
the middle of the night
Like literally, just
in my
drove
room. And my dad was like,
Did it
"Nah,
go
we're outta
all the
here."
way through and out the other side?
No, just
Carry on.
in. Didn't come out the other side. Yeah, so that's why we left.
I mean, that could happen anywhere.
I mean,
Yeah, don't blame Brentwood for that. Like, what's your beef with Brentwood?
I'm not going to blame Brentwood. I'm going to blame the road.
Yeah, I would blame them.
That's
all.
a terrible road. But anyways,
Right.
Apart from
People
Great
still live
South
there,
Bay
you know.
breweries on it.
People still live there. Don't diss their road.
okay. Sorry to all the people who live in Fifth Avenue.
Anyway.
So came to Wading River, tried out for the Riverhead Raptors.
Yes.
Youth soccer team. I
What's
was
a team?
7 years old. So then from there, both you guys said you played so many sports. I never played anything else. I only played soccer. I didn't play. Never signed up
Can't
for
tell.
anything. Can't tell.
Didn't
Maybe you
help,
can.
did it?
Maybe I should have.
Not
I
very
don't
good
know.
at golf. Bang average at pickleball. Like, jeez.
Average, I don't know, but
But you
Below average, is that what you mean?
You try hard.
but
He does try hard.
yeah. So then went from there. So never played anything else. Only played soccer. Then I think it was maybe within that little youth soccer club in Riverhead for I don't know 3 years, and then this English guy that was coaching out east goes, "I'm going to merge this team with the whatever the
Riverhead Raptors.
it's the top half of Riverhead Raptors."
Yeah, get rid of the bottom half.
We didn't
Scrap
actually.
that.
No, that was in the vision, right? Every kid can play. You got to find them a place, but not every kid can play together. Like that's an absolute reality that people just have to accept.
So the players he thought that could play
It's
together.
like me and Kelsey playing together, right? It just doesn't make any sense. I'm good, he's not. Like at some point,
It's
you have to
debatable.
separate. Put the good kids where they need to be.
It's
Put the kids who want to keep learning.
Getting
Put them
better.
where they need to be. And
Last time Eddie played soccer,
we all know what happened.
fell over on his own and did his ACL.
no,
So.
dude. Come
I
on.
didn't see any contact in that challenge.
Oh
I'll just
my.
be honest with you.
All right. Anyway, come on.
So yeah, then Riverhead Raptors merged with Mattituck.
The whole club did.
The whole club did, and this guy was the coach. That was, I don't know.
I was the DLC.
Yeah, so
So the idea was
First one on Long Island.
I guess so. Like
mean-
there wasn't really any DLCs around in the time. East Meadow announced like a big move after that. They were going to hire a professional DLC, and it was going to be a paid position because that wasn't really a thing back then. It was just
but-
you're a paid trainer, and I pretty much volunteered to do all the admin and help the club put some structure together.
Mattituck ahead
So-
of the game.
Hey, we were flying.
yeah, merged and then played in. What was it, NERP back then?
Northeast Region Premier.
Yeah.
Well, you had to win LIJ
Which
to
we
get
did.
to Eastern New York Premier, I think it was. Then Eastern New York Premier, you had to win that to get to Northeast Region Premier. Win Northeast Region Premier to get to Region 1.
Yeah, so that
So
was
you-
that was the ladder, and that's how it was back then. Imagine it was that simple now. It's not the same, but either way,
You win, you go into a
exactly.
good spot.
And that seems like a
Promotion,
decent model to
relegation.
me. Yeah. Conversation for a different time.
Okay.
So then that was I don't know 13, 14 years old, or even 12 maybe.
We put a tournament team together, I think, at like under 11.
Okay, so then that was
And then
it.
we left the 2 teams to play in the league. And then under 12s, we were like, this is working. Like, these players deserve to be together.
And that formed the Matatuck Alliance.
Correct.
And that was the team.
And we had Matatuck United as the second team. So kids had a place to play.
Everyone gets to play.
Alliance and United.
Yeah. So then that was that. So if you say U11, U12, that's perfect. Then I think, if I remember correctly, it went all the way through high school until senior year.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when the whole ISA thing was. Well, the ISA was around because it was with Middle Country. It was with a couple other ones.
Yeah, ISA was primarily a girls' academy, but they did form a boys' program.
Yes.
I think secondary.
I don't remember exactly when that was, but
Yeah.
I know
2000 was before.
What year did you graduate high school?
2015.
So about 2015 or
Yeah, because you
2014.
only played there your last year, right?
I only played there last
We
year.
used to play against them because prior to that it was Middle Country,
It was, yeah.
and Middle Country whole team became ISA.
Mhm.
We stayed
Some went
alone.
to ISA, some went to
Dix
Some went to
Hills.
Dix
Smithtown,
Hills.
right? Some went to Dix
Yeah, me and
Hills.
Frank. I was trying to send players to him.
Yep.
You just want the players to land in the right place at that point.
Yeah, so in that mix,
We
I
took it as
landed.
far as we could.
Yeah, I landed ISA. So
Mhm.
that was where I played my last.
Why didn't it last the final year?
It's a good question.
We were in Matatuck. Like, who wants to drive all the way out there? Like, it was just hard to recruit. Like, we got the best out of Matatuck kids.
had.
Anyone on the North Fork, we got the best out of. I trained them to the best of my ability. They bought in. We worked really hard. We were just grassroots and graft and work, and we had a little bit of quality about us. And then we had some players from some, we gradually got some more players, but it was just harder and harder. And then it's like, why? We want them to be successful. Like, it's about the kids on the field. So at some point, to give them a platform to go to college and pursue everything, like, let them play with other good kids. It is what it is. And then just move on and do it all over again.
And it was a good. When that happened, I think you and everyone was involved in that did good to just say, hey, here's an avenue to go. Here's an avenue to go. It's
Yeah,
not like
absolutely.
Whatever. So
Listen, we offended. People got offended along the way,
Yeah.
right? Because
it's always good.
when people don't like change, right? So anytime you make change, it's like, why are you making change? Why can't we just stay as our town team? Why can't we do this? And it's like, well, that kid wants to play in college and that kid doesn't. So, or that kid wants to try and play pro, and that's another conversation. But I think for me, like, you got to let people do what they want to do and try and create. That's what the pathway is, right? But it gets muddy.
Of course, yeah.
So
It's with everything. So to just finish that. So then, so finished ISA senior year and then got a full scholarship to play at Dowling College. So,
Which is no more.
yeah, still a sore subject, but went there, finished, played a whole freshman year. Great time. Really good experience. And then, as we all know, the college closed down. So then from there, played 1 year at Suffolk. It was just like a, wishy-washy year. I got a place at Suffolk, played there for a year, and then finished my last 2 years at Oneonta, upstate.
You just can't
So-
because you didn't win.
In the
Yeah,
midst of those last 2 years at Oneonta, that's when I was talking to these guys a lot about coming back to coaching. So then I coached at FCLI under who was it? It was Chris. It was Colley.
that's a good name. Sounds like a good
It
program.
was a great program under Chris Colley. Shout out to Chris
Solid.
Colley.
FC Long Island.
And then after graduating in 2019, then the rest is history. Been here ever since with you guys.
You
so.
called me for an internship.
I did. Oh yeah, that's right. It was an internship and it was tryouts at Bayman soccer fields.
Is that because you couldn't get a real job?
Same boat as you guys.
Yep.
High five.
Yeah, so same boat, and now we're here. So full circle. I got to be honest. I didn't get 14 other jobs in the middle of that like you guys did, but
Hey, it's the university of life.
yeah, it's what it is.
We're schooled in it.
You sure about that?
And scared by it.
The last thing we want to do is we put a thing out for people to send in some questions regarding anything in the youth soccer landscape, general stuff. I think a lot of these things are going to be like entire episodes talking about, but we can touch on them a little bit if you want.
Absolutely.
I want to fire away the first one. Let's do this one. U.S. soccer pay-to-play system. Do you think the model needs change for soccer to be competitive on a national level? What do we think?
Yes.
Simple answer.
Yeah.
Short and sweet.
Yeah, regardless of financial situations, kids need to have opportunity.
I think the general
Loads of
answer
kids
is
out there who can play soccer that don't get found.
the general answer is yes, but like, how is that even? How?
I mean, the easy way to look at it is every other country in the world, there is no pay-for-play model like this. It doesn't.
I mean, it started in England. There are trainers out there now, and there's
yeah, but
little academy clubs and things like that. Yeah, people don't.
It's not anywhere near the level of the finances here. One and two, you don't have to go play there. Like there's community clubs everywhere in England that are.
But there's community clubs here.
Yeah, true.
I think the bottom line is, right, like, listen, we're all a part of it, right? So, but we didn't create it. It was here before we got here. So we just followed the lead of what was happening in our market, in our area to go, all right, like, okay, you pay this much to play soccer, right? You pay for dance, you pay for lacrosse, you pay for baseball. Like, nothing's free. So
it's not just soccer. It's pay for sport.
Pay for play.
Right. It's
Anything.
a massive...
Pay to play every single sport.
It's a massive business, right? And we're not going to sit here and lie about it. So in any conversation we have, parents say to me all the time, it's just a business. Well, it's really, yes, it is a business, number one, but all of football is a business, right? So, I mean, Tottenham's a terrible business, but
stadium business is fantastic.
they are
just
commercially
I mean, if you really want to go on the business
right?
side, Tottenham is the most commercially viable Premier League club for the last 20 years.
But they won't be if they get relegated from the Premier League, because that's going to take a massive hit.
Absolutely.
Right. All right, back to you, soccer.
Football.
Yeah, listen, we are all a part of it, right? So we are. If change is going to happen, then we have to figure out what that looks like, and everybody has to, all clubs scholarship a lot of players. Fact, right? You can't announce how much. You don't want to go into detail because, each individual situation may be different, right? But the reality is we try and help kids as much as we possibly can. But then nobody works for free. So if anybody's willing to work for free around the whole country, then all coaches will all go, well, listen, we'll all work for free.
It's just not the case.
Not really. I mean, listen, that's a conversation.
I think the question was about the national team. Is the national team is it going
to be competitive on the national level? Is this something that has to change?
100%. It has to change, but the fact is that for me, it's about parents understanding that if you can't afford to play, you should still try to play.
Yeah, correct.
Right, that's the biggest thing.
And go and ask the clubs.
Go and ask the clubs. Have a conversation.
What is the access, right? Don't just be scared of, it's a big club and we know how much it costs because there's the sticker price. Go and ask and say, is there opportunity for my kid? My kid loves soccer. Can they get involved? We'll try and find a way, like we will, like we always have. So...
And this question could lead to others. Like the fact is the best players don't play together, regardless, right? So that comes back to
there's no pyramid anymore, right? There's 3 pyramids or 4 pyramids because there's a league there and a league there and a league there, and the leagues are all over the place and everybody's competing. So, but then it also comes into other sports. Like this country, football is massive, baseball is massive, hockey is big, basketball is massive.
But realistically, for me, soccer's more accessible.
But the best athletes don't necessarily come to soccer, where in other countries they do.
Yeah, but I think what you said is, I think it's important that people know that, because I don't think a lot of people know that in an example where you have you have a child that's good at soccer, you can't afford the pay-for-play system. It's probably still worth it to go wherever you're going to go and try, because I don't think people understand that
I agree.
Clubs and places can work that out in certain examples where it's worth it for the kids.
I think the fact is as well, like you go back to why do other countries do such a good job of promoting kids to the right level? Because there's no ego. There's no.
There is though.
There might be ego. Okay, so maybe that's
there's 100% ego everywhere.
It's a much easier pathway to the top in other countries because people want to push people, whereas here, like everybody wants their best player. Everybody wants to keep them. Nobody wants to look at a pyramid and say they're not at the top of the pyramid. Whoever you are, you're not at the top of the pyramid. Like in our region, NYCFC and Red Bull on the boys' side is the top of the pyramid. Gotham is the top of the pyramid on the girls' side. So nobody wants to admit they're not the top of the pyramid, but you're not, because they are.
Mm-hmm.
And
they should be.
They're the pro clubs, right? We're not a pro club. The others aren't pro clubs because they're not in the MLS. So they might say, "Oh, we're this, we're that." Okay, like you're not, but whatever.
So this is a solid full episode.
Yeah, for sure. But it's a good taste of what it means, and I think it helps people understand a little bit better.
However, listen, for anybody in US soccer or whatever, right? Like we're open to helping. We're in our market in New York, but whatever we can do to help, I'm open to conversation.
Of course.
And almost every club in our region will help anybody who comes to the door. That's the truth.
100%. Next question. So we'll do two more. And I think all three of these could be broader conversations, but we'll hit on them quick. How much is too much training? How do you find the balance between wanting to make sure your kid gets enough time on the ball without burning them out? This could be a younger, older conversation, I think, too.
I think burnout...
Some degree.
I don't think burnout is necessarily training. I think burnout is emotional and enjoyment.
It could be physical, too.
We banter about this all the time, right? But when we were growing up, you played every day, right? Nobody was like, "Oh, there's periodization and you need to take a couple of days off." Like common sense told you, as you get older, your body's going to hurt more, right? So you have to rest a little bit. But when you're younger, you just play.
You say play every day, right? Because you're playing.
Yeah, not struck like
periodization. It's so simple. I'm old. If I play one game,
He's
I need to rest for a long time. When I was a kid, when I was 14, 15 years old, or even younger, or even at 18, 19, 20, I didn't need to rest. I could play a game and then the next day I could play another game.
So again, it's not physical. It's not necessarily physical load necessarily, right? It's emotional and enjoyment of being in a structured training environment that is, I've got to dribble around cones. I've got to train. It's got to look like this and feel like that. We grew up playing pickup soccer, right? So you're on the streets, you're playing. Playing is fun. And the game then is creative. And then you take it into training and you add some structure to it. But that's the balance that it's hard to find.
I think the answer to the question is easy. Whatever structured environment you're in, so you train 3 days a week, you train 4 days a week, you play 1 game of the weekend, 2 games of the weekend, whatever you play, everything you do in soccer outside of that should be driven by the kid. If I want to go out and hang out with some friends and go play soccer, go do it. If I want to go to a field on my own and I want to kick some balls, go do it. But you don't need, every day doesn't need to be something structured and this,
because
that,
now it's a job, right? Now it's not fun.
That's what it comes back to. I think that's what it comes back to. And that's, for me, what I've seen personally, even with young kids, is exactly what you just said. The difference between what you guys are saying, growing up and just playing every day, there's 8-year-old kids doing strength training with lifting things and jumping over things, and it's like, okay, that's great, but is it being driven by the kid? Number one, like you said, probably not.
Kids all want to do weights.
Kids
a 7-8-year-old kid.
Kids all want to do one-on-one training.
If the kid wants to train every day and play, that's awesome, and they should
find a way. If your kid has that much drive, find a way for them to go out and play. Like, go out in your yard. Like,
yeah, listen,
they're the kids who are going to succeed.
It's harder and harder, right? Because we never had phones, we never had laptops, you never had computers, you didn't have much of that, so you go out and play. This generation has all of that, so now it's easy to just pick up a Switch or pick up a whatever and just sit there and play. And then like to go outside and play, you see fields are open everywhere. Like this is the same in England. I speak to my brother, I speak to people back home. It's just the way it is. Times have changed. So how do you find a balance between growing up playing, having fun, and just pure pickup, pure street soccer, pure creativity, like just go play, right? And you'll learn a lot. But I'm not saying get out of a structured environment, right? Because you still need training, you still need coaching, you still need guidance. So the game has a structure and a format and a system. So you can't just ignore all of that. Otherwise, like kids are literally just running around in circles thinking they can do whatever they want. Like, no, the game's not like that either.
But is there burnout in that though?
There's only burnout if the kid doesn't want to do
it. There's burnout because it becomes stressful, right? So once it becomes stressful, then, again, my dad tried to send me to sprint training, right?
It wasn't driven by you.
Right, because for me, like, I don't want to put on running shoes and sprint up and down a track. I don't want to do cross country. Like, I don't really want to do that. But put a ball at my feet, and I wanted to play.
Hey,
So
this isn't.
Can you find me that?
For me, this isn't saying that kids shouldn't play if they don't want to do what I'm going to say
course.
right now. There's plenty of kids who should play and just be in the structured environment, and that's it. Train 3 days a week, play your game, and do nothing else. There's plenty of people who do that. I've sent plenty of people. I know loads of kids who play in college who that is them, right? If your kid really wants to succeed in the sport, they're going to drive themselves to go and juggle on their own. They're going to drive themselves to watch soccer, right? They're going to drive themselves to go out in the yard and play. They're going to drive themselves to hang out with people who love soccer as well, right? We all know loads of kids like that. Those kids can do extra because they want to. But the kids who don't want to do extra shouldn't do extra. It's not to say they shouldn't play the sport. It's that you shouldn't force your kid to go do 1v1s and go do all this stuff.
I think that's more than fair.
The kids have to drive
anything in life, right? You've got to do it because you want to do it, not do it because you're told to do it or somebody else wants you to do it, because then you're not going to enjoy it and you're not going to stick it out.
Fair.
So,
last one.
Another full episode for that question.
This is going to be the more. I mean, we'll be quick on it, but let's just touch really quickly. Okay. Last one. MLS Next for CCNL. Is there really a difference?
Ooh.
Is there a difference?
The DA was different.
The DA.
But why was it different?
Why was it different?
Because it was so selective.
Is anything selective now?
The simple answer? No.
The DA was different because when we had conversations with US Soccer, probably back in 2015, maybe. So
probably before MLS Next, anyway.
Right. So as we were establishing in Long Island, and we said, right, we're going to stay here, we're going to do this. There was no DA. So I think the DA started in 2009, maybe something like that. But the idea of US Soccer putting something together made sense, right? And now you've got to create. Okay,
but just go back before you
structure.
finish. It was ran by US Soccer,
correct?
Which is the top of the top
pyramid.
of the top.
Well, like the pyramid. I mean,
it's the federation, correct?
Right.
So it's ran by the top.
So the federation are trying to put something in place to structure it, right? Otherwise, it's just a free for all. So what they tried to do, I think, was the right thing, and the league was good, and people wanted to be in it because it was the elite of the elite, and it was select, and it was whatever.
It was really difficult to get into.
Yeah,
really
and then
difficult.
And then not only that, there was double pass, right? Which there was standards.
That was massive.
So the standards were set. So when we spoke to US Soccer and said, "Hey, how do we get into this? What do we have to do?" They were like, "Right, you need a proven track record of players, teams, history.
You got to win. You got to develop players.
You've got to win and develop players. You got to do both. So you got to be super competitive, but you got to prove that kids are going pro, or kids are going college, or kids are going wherever. And you have to have the pathway, and you have to have a period of time where you've proven yourself.
So it's almost like a credential system in a way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Then it was facilities, right? You got to have some kind of a fields, or some kind of what feels and looks like a professional environment that rather than a town field. Or
by the way, that was how you had to get in when we were trying to initially get into the
talking
DA.
About.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is there's loads of clubs that were in the DA that didn't have those standards.
Mm-hmm.
The standards from a soccer perspective were good, but they didn't have the fields and all of that kind of things.
But they monitored clubs. The standards, and the clubs had to live up to the standards. So that was what was pitched to us to say, right, in order to get to that level, you need this, 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 and this. So there's a criteria.
Double pass was tough.
Yeah, well, that we never experienced them actually coming in, but from what we
heard,
got told. But long story short, right, like there was standards that you had to have, and there was criteria that you had to have to then be accepted into that platform. And nowadays, that's definitely started to go away. It's changed. So that's what it is.
So I think that's the biggest struggle. Anytime anyone talks about this topic, is it selective? Is it oversaturated? And I think the answer to those questions are yes. But
I think if you go back again to the question, when MLS Next started, they were selective.
Well, they took over the DA after COVID, right?
Yeah.
So it folded.
And there wasn't massive initial expansion. It was, these are the clubs that were in the DA. It's gonna be status quo year one.
Carry on.
And then obviously, like from our perspective, we had loads of conversations with MLS. which we should because we're in that environment. And everything they told us initially was great. It was, we only want the best. And we're only going to put the best in. And there's no other pathway into it. You got to have all of these things, which was
Checklist.
Professional staff, staff who are qualified, A license, B license. You got to have facilities. You got to have a proven track record again. Literally proven youth track record.
So how have we gotten to the point now of where it is now? Like, how is that jumped to everything is oversaturated, 0% selective? How is that?
Because there's no top level.
There's no clear top level.
There's no top level. There's no pyramid.
Well, it's
There's competition. There's leagues that compete rather than there being a top.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference.
well, again, it's I think the question was, which is better, right? It depends who you ask, depends who you talk to, it depends, and I don't think anyone can sit here. There's no proof that one is better than the other, right? Because when you play against each other, you might say, right, an ECNL team beat, club beat an MLS and vice versa. Right? Okay, so that might happen. That's anywhere in the world.
Of course.
Someone could win a game. Is there a top of MLS and a bottom of MLS in the leagues? Is it the same in ECNL? Yeah, there's a top and there's a bottom, like there's in any league.
Mm-hmm.
Some clubs do it better than others. Some clubs are sustainable. Some clubs, have a better player pool for whatever reason based on where they're at. We live on Long Island. We believe in a player pathway. So we send kids to NYCFC openly, transparently.
And to Red Bulls.
Right? And to Red Bulls. Connor Faiello right now, right? He's in MLS 2, playing second team for New York Red Bulls. He was with us in ECNL for how many years? 6, 7?
No, probably about 4.
5, 4.
4 or 5.
Whatever the number is, right? But there's an argument across everything. So I'm never going to sit here like we spoke to US Soccer when there was, a DA. We've spoken to MLS. We talk to ECNL. We try and be open and transparent. We can't control that. That's beyond the clubs and our area because they dictate how they want it to be and what that structure looks like and who they want to invite in and who they don't want to invite in.
The fact is that if you're going to change something, the change is simple. All of the top clubs, the best clubs, and again, going back to that criteria of staffing, of proven pathway, and proven pathway means sending kids to college, sending kids pro pathway as well. All of those top clubs need to be in the same league. And right now they're not. No. So there's no top league because not all the top clubs are in the same league, in my mind. And
we put out a pyramid last year, right? And we did it for a reason. We did it to kind of make people think, and people are going to come out with their own pyramid then. But
start conversations.
We just did it to expose, okay, what do people think about this? And we organized it in a way where we live in New York, we live in Long Island, and we said, right, well, this is how we think it is. NYCFC Red Bulls are there because they're the pro clubs. They're in MLS. Mm-hmm. Right? Well, nobody else is in our market. Philly Union, New England, whatever, right? They have their regions. And then you go, okay, what's next? Well, what is next? Because again, it depends who you ask, right? So everyone will go, MLS next and ECNL, okay, but then there's EDP National League teams that are also pretty good. And when you go to some events, you might see them and you're like, wow, that team's pretty competitive. Where did they come from? How are they around? How are they doing what they do? Well, they're doing something, right? Because they're on the same field competing. Mm-hmm. So the conversation can go around in circles. But for me, at the end of the day, it comes back to why do we do this? Why are we involved in youth soccer? What are we trying to do for the kids? How are we trying to get them to the top level? Is it about us trying to retain and keep kids? Not at the very top tier for me. Those kids need to be found. So for me, it's just this kid's legit. We don't say that very often, right? Because there's a lot of good players, but when you see a kid, you know the difference. Any coach who's been around, any player who's been around, you watch, and if a kid stands out, you're like, that kid needs to be found.
Yeah, but don't you think more of those kids would be found in that example if the best clubs are always playing against the best clubs? Because that's not the case right now.
I think there would be more players at that level because they're playing against that competition all the time. That's as simple as it gets.
Again, right? The best should rise to the best. And then us as a coaching staff is the same thing. I have to prove myself every day that I'm a good coach. Right? Otherwise, I can talk a good game. Anybody can talk a good game. But do you have a proven track record of what you do? I'm not perfect. I don't think I'm the best coach in the world. Right? So I go out there every day and I try and get better and I try and improve and I try and talk and I literally look at my I live soccer. That's all I do. And people who know me, they know what I'm like. I don't have any other interests. Like I am who I am.
I think to close that off too, it's like we're in April, we're middle of April, so you're talking about tryout season and parents going into tryout season going, I'm going to try out for this club and this club and this club. So this conversation of the whole MLS and ECNL plays a big role in that. Mm-hmm. So it's like, what's the message to parents in that example going, where should you go? Why should you go? Should you try them all? What should you be looking for? For me, I think the number one thing for anyone going into that process as a parent of a soccer player is obviously, yes, you want your kid to be challenged, but you want the player to be in an environment where they're enjoying it, obviously, number one, mm-hmm. regardless of what platform they're in. If they it goes back to the burnout thing. If they're not enjoying or driving what they're doing, it doesn't matter where you play or what you play for or the pyramid or anything. So that's number one. I mean, for me, is that factor. But like so many times we talk to parents and it's like, oh, we got accepted here under this platform, under this league. Why should we come when, your club runs under this platform? And it's like, people don't really know.
There's so much confusion.
Because I think 99% of the players could play in ECNL or could play in MLS, and they're probably going to have the same trajectory, right? Like, that's the reality. Majority of kids, if they get that far, and it's still 6% chance or something like that, majority of the kids in MLS Next and in ECNL, it's a college pathway. It's not a pro pathway. Because you've got to be good enough to go pro.
Listen, we all know, right? So it's out there. Oh, it's less than 1% make pro, right? Okay, so you in the less than 1%, less than 0.001%, whatever that number is, right? Like, live the dream, great. But then a reality kicks in. Are you that good? Who is that good? All right, there's a couple of kids who've gone from Long Island, right? Joe Scally's in the national pool. Right, good for him. He had an amazing career, and he's having an amazing career, and that's a local kid. So you have to be.
But name another one.
Yeah, true. Like
I mean, over the last 15 years, there's
into a professional pathway. You're talking about?
Yeah, there's definitely listen, I
from
don't.
Long Island.
There's definitely players, 100%. Right, the kid who plays.
This is going to be a great shout. In Cosi.
But I'm talking about top level. Okay, and
MLS is the top level.
No, but MLS is the top level in this country, right? Doesn't mean again, the kids want to go potentially to Europe and have be at a massive club for millions of dollars. Of course they do, but they made it pro, right? That's hard to do. It's not easy to do. So good for them. And again, is it athleticism? Is it mentality? Is it technical ability from all the training and all the structure, or is it just let's look at the draw sometimes as well. You were a good player, he was a good player, but you had something about you, or some scout liked you, and you got an opportunity and they didn't. Like you don't know the background of a lot of it. None of us do. So some kids come from the streets, some kids come from a professional organization. Mm-hmm. There's no people can say there's science behind it, and I think there's got to be something behind it where we have some data and some visual to say that kid's a very good athlete, that kid's got great technical ability, that kid has a great soccer IQ. He's got a good head on his shoulders. He's got a good family background. He's got a good structure. His parents can get him to places. Like, there's loads of variables. And that's why it's so interesting. But it is not a one-size-fits-all, right? So look at I don't know, any example over the years of players from England or here or wherever, who one kid has gone through that pathway and one kid came from a totally different pathway but ended up at the same place.
Jamie Vardy.
Vardy in England. When did Jamie Vardy go pro? 26 from Fleetwood Town or something like that. Like, that was the level I played at, and next minute he's in the Premier League.
Doesn't he own a club here? He owns some
Rochester, right?
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know if he's involved anymore, but he did get involved for sure.
That guy's
his name is attached to it. But again, look at that, right? Was he in an academy at 9? Right? No. Okay, but Messi, I think, wasn't an academy at 9 or like whoever, right? Mm-hmm. So you just don't know. I think we're trying to help however we can.
Did we just compare Jamie Vardy to Messi?
I'm not sure if you directly did that. I think you may have just done it.
Maybe I did, yeah.
I mean, I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Messi's never won a Premier League.
No, definitely haven't. Yeah, that this is 100% an entire episode.
I'm drink out my little jar.
The jars fit right.
Oh, they definitely fit. Yeah, that's an entire.
That one's very
this could be an
round
episode
and
too.
short. That one's very small.
This guy's got some roundness
This one's
to it
got
as
a bit
well.
of roundness
It's got
and
some
height.
length to it. God. Yeah, that could be a whole.
Good jazz selection.
Thanks, Eddie.
This could be 100% a whole episode, and it definitely will come. But it's good to just get a little snippet in. I think because
Our goal is to get people on this podcast to talk.
Yeah.
Right. Anybody across the whole country in any environment that they're from, come and have a chat. Like
People
we-
who
Yeah.
run leagues, people who work in MLS Next, people who work in ECNL, people who work
in EDP,
in different
people-
sports.
anything.
soccer,
anything.
anywhere. Like,
Yep.
let's have a chat. I'm totally open.
Yeah, 100%.
and debate.
Let's send a special thanks real quick to Lendsaas for being the founding sponsor of episode number 1.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Thank you from those guys over
Thank
there
you.
for sure.
Is episode 1 done?
Episode
it
1
clap?
is done. Yeah,
That's it.
unless you guys have anything else.
Do we clap again?
No, we don't. We could give ourselves a round of applause if you want. I think
I'm
we're
gonna
done.
give it
Thanks, dude.
a. We got 2 of those today.
Anything else?
No, I mean, people who are listening, if you are going to listen, pass it on to whoever wants to listen. And send in questions and.
Follow, share. Yeah, definitely send in questions. You can send anything. DMs.
But this for us, the reason we did this, going back to it, like we actually would have a laugh as well.
Yeah, of
So
course.
we got to bite our tongue sometimes because I do curse.
I curse
But we
a
haven't
lot.
cursed today,
Don't think
so
we
that
will.
was pretty impressive.
Family friendly, Edward.
Family friendly, and we'll try and keep it as open, transparent as possible. No real agendas to anything, right? Just talk openly.
Just a chat.
Come and
And whoever
share
wants to
your
chat,
thoughts.
come on down. We'll have you on. Right?
I
That's
don't
the-
like to talk. So.
Okay, yeah, definitely. This guy doesn't like to talk. Okay, good.
Peace.
Peace out.
Did you just say peace?
I put peace